What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to FBA Capital. And today I'm bringing you guys another video on our NAS100 daily range case study, and let's get right on into the charts. So first things first, I wanted to bring you guys to just show you overall, this is going to be a great example of an overall trending day. So not much happened today. Prices overall trended upwards, but I'm going to show you where you could have potentially got a move still. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up the previous day's high and the previous day's low. And as you can see, the previous day's high was taken out pretty early on into the day, significantly early. Price took out this previous day's high around 3:45 in the morning, which is early London session. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up the 12 a.m. open, which is right here. After we get the 12 a.m. open, I'm going to mark up the Asian session from the previous day, just like this. So we'll get the range. And now that we have all these marked up, we have this overall outline of what we're expecting. So as we see price point higher, and our area I want you guys to pay attention to, I want you to pay attention to down here, up here. And why? Because this is the low of the day and this is the high of the day. Now that doesn't make it important, but I want you to see where it made it, at what time, and when. So now if we look to the left and look at the Asian session range, if we get the 50% of it, just like this, and if I were to move this fib all the way over, you can see right here, price retraced to the 50% of the Asian range at what time? 2:15, 2:30 in the morning. Now, what does that tell us? That is early London session. And what do we know when London session trades where? Below the 12 a.m. open into the 50% of the Asian range and starts to lose momentum at where? Look at what level this is. 14,800. So now we have a big figure level along with the 50% of the Asian range, along with time of day. So we're creating a low during a specific time in a specific area, and we're also losing that momentum. So what am I going to put here? I'm going to annotate that this is the low of the day at, I'm going to say 2:30 a.m. Plus we have this 14,800 rejection, and we also have the 50% of the Asian range. Now that is where we ended up having the low of the day, and from here price never traded back to here. Now this low is going to be very significant later on, and I'm going to show you why. So then what happened after this? From here price expanded all the way to the top side. Now we're here at 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning, what happened? Price makes this high and price starts to overall slowly travel lower. So what do we do as traders? Something I was looking forward to trying to capitalize on is this overall London continuation move. Now, why am I looking for London continuation move? Because the London session made the low of the day. Price is bullish. The previous day was also bullish, so I'm looking to continue that trend. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna pull my fib from that London session low to that high that was created during this New York session. Now, what I was potentially going to wait for, I wanted to see price travel a little bit lower into the 70.50%. Why this area? Because there was a lot of confluences in here. We could have potentially retested this 14,800 area. We also could have potentially retested this previous day's high along with the Asian session high. And there was just a lot of reason to see price overall move from there. But overall, it didn't, and it was a very trending day. So what do we know about trending days? When we have trending days, there's a high likelihood that price is going to overall just continue to stay in this overall uptrend. So as you can see, price retraced slightly, came into this 38.20%. And if we look at where we are in price, we also retested this 14,900 big figure level. So right here, we have 14,900 right here. So we retest 14,900, tap into this 38.20% on the fib in an overall uptrend. Once we start seeing that we're potentially losing momentum, we could then look to see price go higher. At what time is this happening? This is happening, I'm going to say at 10:15. So at 10:15, we had the fib long 38.20, 38.20% rejection. Plus we also had that 14,900 level, and we were overall in an overall uptrend. So this is where you ideally would have wanted to catch a move, and this is the move that ended up overall catching the majority of today's range with almost 195 pips. Now London session would have been the overall main move you wanted to catch, and this would have resulted in an overall of 295 pips total. Now we're going to bring our eyes to this area up here. Why is this significant? Because this is the high of the day. What time was this created? The high of the day was created, let's see, 3:15. This high of the day was created at 3:15. And is this anywhere of an importance? We're going to now go to a slightly higher time frame, and we're going to see what we see in here. Boom, boom. Okay, now we're seeing over here. Let's go slightly higher, see what it tapped into. Let's see. Let's also pull our fib from this high to this low, from this high to this low, see where we are. And look at that, we have this fib setup that's happening right inside of there. So if we go back to that lower time frame, you see that price is right inside of this fib. Now this isn't a clean setup, so personally I'm not going to have that drawn out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to that hour time frame, and I'm going to look at it from this perspective. Let's see if I pull my fib from this low to this high. That also didn't work out. So now we're just looking at overall, this is just a potential order block. So this last up candle before this down move. So from here to here, we have this overall order block, and we're going to pull it over, and we're going to see, did price tap into it? Go back to the lower time frame, and then look at that. Almost right to the pip. So at 3:15 p.m., we have the high of the day, plus we also tapped into a 1 hour bullet bearish order block. And this is where price overall had this expansion to the downside. This is literally to the pip. You can't get more precise than this. Now, even though this wasn't a trade I took, look at this on the 1 minute time frame. Look at this. Price tapped into it once, rejected. Second time, rejected, and then from here, immediately to the downside. Now, something you could have potentially looked for to catch this short is once you got this break in market structure, you could have potentially waited for price to just have a retracement. And just like that, you could have gone short. And then if you go back to our time frame, just like this would have been a crazy move. Now, just let's just say, for example purposes, say you were expecting this to go short and you wanted to catch this short-term short scenario. So say you got in at the 62% because you didn't want to potentially waste a move with a stop loss above this high. This is 5 pips. 5 pips. So even if you were wrong on this trade, the risk reward would have been crazy. Now, where would I have potentially targeted? In this case scenario, something I would have targeted, I could have potentially targeted this high over here, or even just look to come back all the way down and clear the liquidity above these lows. Now look at this, a 1 to 37 to 14,900, 1 to 30 to this low right here, a 1 to 19, and to this high right here is a 1 to 7. Crazy move. And this is all just based off of simple things that I look for on a daily basis that happen every single day. Now, what am I going to do? Right here, we are currently at 15,000. So this is currently where price is closing off for the day, right here at 15,000, which is kind of ironic. Didn't think it was going to be closed at this area, but as you can see, it did. So now that we have overall what happened today is not really much that happened, but it was an overall trending day, very bullish, little retracement, only a 38.20% retracement. And then from here, price ended up moving very bullishly. So let's draw this as a schematic. What happened? So during the Asian session, we consolidated, came a little bit higher, retested, made the low of the day after coming to the 50% of the Asian range. From there, price expanded, had a slight retest, and then kept on going. Simple as that, just a trending day. The 38.20% levels are just continuation levels, in my opinion. That's why it's red. If you ever notice why I have the 38.20% a whole different color, is because it's used as a whole different reason. When I'm looking at the 38.20% rejection, there's a high chance that it's going to continue that trend and just continue being bullish. It's not always going to happen, but it's a high chance. And when we come deeper into this 79 to 62% retracement, this is where you're going to be looking for a bigger move, and you're always going to be able to have a smaller stop loss in situations like that. But overall, this is a nice move. Now let's go off to the daily time frame, and remember this area that we were talking about on the weekly. In the daily time frame, where I'm aiming for these highs up here. I've been bullish all week. I've been bullish ever since Monday. Before this even happened, right when we were down here, this is where I was bullish, and you can see the reactions we're having, and we're clearly going to be reaching for this weekly high being broken right above here. So that's something I'm looking forward to this week. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can get tomorrow, but overall, bullish. I'm going to make sure I take the screenshot. Hopefully you guys have the screenshot too, and if you don't, make sure you join the Telegram where you can have access to that and all my other screenshots and daily ranges. But that's really it. So I'm going to end this video off here. Hopefully this video was able to give you a little insight on how I personally view the market, and just give you an insight on what happened today overall, and just a little insight on overall what you could do to catch these trades, because things like this happen on a daily basis and you guys see this every day. So this is an example of a bullish London continuation move. And that's really it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you found it helpful in any way, shape, or form, make sure you stay motivated by the fear of being average. And I'll see you guys for tomorrow's live session.